Okay, welcome everybody to the Attendant Pro launch for Europe here. A few announcements and then we'll go into introductions. Some of you may have to accept meeting content or accept the presentation there. There was some of that. Audio is only through PC audio. There is no call-in in case somebody's wondering about that. But this will be recorded and is going to be available later. You'll get the slide deck and whatever recording we get emailed out afterwards, so you can do that. Expect that. Also, there's a question and answer tab at the bottom of your screen and also an IM portion. You can ask questions as we go through the presentation. In either place, we'll be monitoring that and try to keep up with it as we can going along, but then we'll have a specific question and answer period after we're done with everything here towards the end of the presentation. So without further announcements here, quick introductions. The plans here are to go some introductions here, a couple minutes, and then a presentation by Matt on what were the design pillars, the way Attendant Pro was designed and some of the ideas behind it. And then we're going to go through a full demo of the features as a user would use them, step through the various different things and scenarios there, and then presentation afterwards, some frequently asked questions and stuff like that, and then question and answer and some giveaways towards the end. So I see on the screen there is a picture of Matt at the top. Matt Landis is Lync MVP, the owner of Landis Computer Technology Solutions here, and he was, I believe, the 14th MVP in the U.S., Lync MVP in the U.S. Real deep knowledge along with the rest of the team here of Lync and all that surrounds it. And then I'm the second person there, Wendell Martin. I'll be doing the demo. I'm in business development here at Landis Computer, and I'll be coming back on to go through the features of the Attendant Pro. So, Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you here for going over kind of the background of why and what Attendant Pro is.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. We are glad to have you with us, and what we're going to do is just spend a couple minutes before the demo. I know everyone wants to see the demo, see the product, and we're going to get to that very quickly. But very quickly before that, we're just going to go over the design pillars that we had for Attendant Pro. Attendant Pro for Microsoft Lync is a solution to quickly handle and route Lync voice calls without giving up the power of Lync. And some of the design goals that we had as we designed Attendant Pro, we wanted to go over these because it lets you know really what we are thinking Attendant Pro will do for you. So number one, it has a modern look and feel that is designed for 2013. I'm going to go over them real short and then we'll go into these a little more in depth. It's simple to implement. It requires only 1 minute to install and it requires no servers. So Attendant Pro is really simple to implement. We also had a goal to have broad device support. So Attendant Pro supports everything that Lync 2013 does, including Lync Phone Edition. We also wanted to maximize efficiency of handling voice calls. So we very, very much focused on one click for common tasks. And also our thinking was that attendants deserve the full UC functionality of Lync: video, group chat, desk share, everything. And then two other things that were maybe not quite as core, but also that we have achieved with Attendant Pro, and that is bringing communication-enabled business processes and centralized management. So looking at modern look and feel design for Lync 2013, so one of our goals was to ensure that the transition from Lync 2013 to Attendant Pro is as smooth and quick as possible. So, we've spent pretty much time ensuring that we have an optimized one-click interface and yet familiar interface. So attendants can get right to work. If they were already using Lync 2013, they can get right to work in Attendant Pro. The feedback that we're getting from our beta testers, we are getting the feedback that they really that we really love the user interface. And what we wanted to do is make it so the comment that there is no attendant for Lync 2013 is false. There now is a Lync 2013 attendant console solution for every Lync Enterprise Voice implementation. That's one of the things we want you to go away from here. There is now an attendant for Lync 2013. Number two, unlike other solutions that require server design and installation, Attendant Pro is a simple 1-minute application installation. Before this meeting, I was just helping somebody, and really they were wondering what kind of process there is to install. It's really one-click install, like a click once install, and a minute later you're up and running. This means that it's very accessible to test and implement. We have done tests and installed Attendant Pro in literally 30 to 40 seconds. It's really that easy. So one of our design pillars was it is simple to implement, simple to use, and it just works. So that's one of our goals. And also, we wanted broad device support, Lync Phone Edition and Lync optimized devices. Attendant Pro is compatible with Lync Phone Edition devices that with Better Together, like Polycom CX100, HP 4120, Astra 6725, now owned by Mitel. And it goes without saying that Attendant Pro is compatible with Lync optimized headsets. So with Attendant Pro, support for Lync Phone Edition devices is a first in the Lync ecosystem, having an attendant console that supports Lync Phone Edition, and we do support that. Since Attendant Pro is based on Lync 2013, it is also compatible with other devices designed for Lync 2013, like the Blink Busy Light, for example. You know, the Blink Busy Light is a prime example of a piece of hardware that an attendant might need. So if they're a front desk receptionist that's answering calls and talking to people, that's a great device. And before this, the Blink Busy Light or those types of devices had a challenge being compatible with the Attendant 2010, for example, console. And we also have the HP 4120 on there as another example of a Lync Phone Edition that is compatible. So really, to summarize, the broad device support, if it works with Lync 2013, it works with Attendant Pro. Maximizing efficiency. One click for common voice handling tasks. So another one of our design goals was to make sure that voice tasks are as efficient as possible. One click. So Attendant Pro, it's one click to hold, one click to park, and one click, perhaps most importantly, to transfer. And not only is it one click to transfer, it's also one click at the moment you transfer to determine what kind of transfer you want to do. So do you want to do a blind transfer, a safe transfer, a consultative transfer, or even adding another person to the call? It's all one click. So as we were designing Attendant Pro, we really spent a lot of time thinking about how we can make things efficient and one click. And finally, as we gathered feedback for a Lync Attendant Console and talked to many of our own and other enterprise voice customers, one of the things that we heard loud and clear is that Attendant Console users are power users and want to be able to use all of the Lync functionality without giving up things like video meetings, video, collaboration, sharing desktop, full peer-to-peer, and group instant messaging and persistent chat and screen sharing. So attendant operators, they're key people in making your day-to-day communications go smoothly, and we wanted to give them the full power of Microsoft Lync, give them all the functionality. And since Attendant Pro runs right side by side with Lync 2013, they have access to all those at one time. We also heard from IT departments that they need to support attendants just as much as any other user, and they wanted to be able to share desktops with them. And with Attendant Pro running side by side with Lync 2013, that is now possible. And that's what we have there for the design goals, and I'll turn it over to Wendell to give you a demo.
Okay, and that's loading up my screen there. It might take just a little bit till that shares, and while that comes up and everybody accepts the meeting there again, I just want to go a little bit over who is Landis Computer Technology Solutions. Most of you have probably heard of us, know about us from the community, but just a few things to go over here about who we are. We're Microsoft Silver Unified Communications Partner for Microsoft Lync consulting and implementing, but our support services go beyond things like the Attendant Pro and supporting the whole ecosystem. A lot of you probably have seen Matt's blog, Windows PBX blog. There's also linkideascale.com. Linkideascale.com is a suggestion forum, has over 1,000 contributors, and a lot of the ideas that were voted up to the top in that community were also implemented by Microsoft eventually. So that is something that seems to be having an effect. So, and you can look that up at link.ideascale.com. As I said, the Windows PBX blog, over 2 million page views. The Lync Federation Directory project has listed nearly 25,000 organizations using Lync Federation. And Lync Server 2013 Step-by-Step for Anyone. It's an ebook that is on TechNet with 130,000 downloads, and it's kind of become the de facto first step trainer for Lync implementers and professionals to go through that and learn Lync through it. Also, Attendant Pro isn't the first thing that we have out there, the first Lync development project. We have two others in the TechNet gallery that are the Who Confederate tool, over 12,000 downloads, working with who that you currently work with is already federated, and the Lync Select dial with over 7,000 downloads, and you're welcome to go out to TechNet and look at those as well. In each case, with the Federation tool, with the Select dial, in each case, as well as with the Attendant Pro, one of our goals was to make it easy. You install it, and it just works. So now I'm going to go from there and jump over into the demo. I'm assuming my screen is live there.
Yep, you're good.
Great. Before I go into the demo of the Attendant Pro, I want to remind you of how Lync call flow works. And we're all here because we love Lync as a solution. It's a great thing. I just called in, and here is my call in Lync. So if I go here to a hover, go up to transfer a call, go down to pick another person or number, and then I want to type who I want to transfer it to, select them, and enter or whatever, send it off like that. That does not go well for busy attendants. They don't like that call pattern. So now I'm going to go into how it should work for attendants. Okay, so call is coming in, and I can come up here. I can press F6, do it totally with the keyboard. F6 to answer it, then F9 enters transfer mode, and I can type somebody's extension, 104 for Japheth, enter, and send it off. And that is how our transfer could work, totally using the keyboard. Now, could do that same thing. Some people like to use the keyboard. Some people like to use the mouse, and we have made it easy whichever way you work. Here comes a call, and I click to pick it up, click once to enter transfer, click once to send it off to Japheth, and that is a complete call flow right there. Now that is powerful. That is how attendants need to work. Take that call and handle it. So I'm going to go through different screen areas here, kind of show you all the different things in Attendant Pro, and then come back and show you some call flows and scenarios. Up at the top left corner is my name and presence, and I can change it here just like the standard Lync client. All the options are available. Here is my note. I can change it to whatever from here, and that's my standard note in Lync. Coming across the very top bar here, over here is some settings stuff that Matt is going to go over a little bit later, detail what all the options and settings are there. Middle of the screen here is my different contact groups, and you can notice how smoothly they switch back and forth between the different contacts. I have my contact card there set at medium sized, gives all the options. That's my different groups. Over here is caller information, call pop. We're going to go over that a little bit later. Here going down the right side here is the contact search, and I can search that by name. I can search it by extension, or I can search it by regular phone numbers, or standard phone numbers. So any form of contact there can be searched. I can use this with the mouse or with my keypad to dial a regular number and call out. Just make all your standard outbound calls from there. Going down to the bottom, keypad mode down here along the bottom bar. Keypad mode here is letting you know whether the search field there or what you're dialing is going to be a phone number dial or DTMF. If you're in a call, it switches it to DTMF for that. Over here, transfer mode is off. You'll see that as I go through the scenarios. That'll switch to which transfer mode I have selected at the time. Very key thing here in the middle is the global hotkeys defined. And global hotkeys, when I press the key presses in that scenario, whether my Attendant Pro is in focus or not, these work. So I pressed F6 to answer, F9 to transfer. They work whether I'm in focus on Attendant Pro or not. And there's just a reminder of what you have them defined as. You can define those separate so it doesn't conflict with other programs you have. So going over the other windows here, best to do it with incoming call or call flow so you see what's happening. So I'm going to call in here again. And here comes a call. This is the incoming call area that it's in now. You can handle up to 8. If for some reason you get more than 8 incoming calls, that means you need to hire more attendants because that's too much for one person to handle. But it can handle 8, and then it can actually scroll from there if for some odd reason you need more than 8. Now we're in the current call window. Current call, of course, you can only have one that you're currently talking to, and this has all the options. Let me go through those. First of all, you can put it on hold, bring it back. Notice one click each way. Notice when I go on hold here, it has a hold timer that is counting up. So again, this handled calls window can hold up to 8 different calls, and then of course scrolls again there, so it can keep them all in one glance. You can see who's on hold the longest. Notice that although this contact doesn't have a picture associated with it, it does support pictures. So hold timer, bring it back, park, and when you put it on park, it gives you the park number, 834, and also gives you a parked timer. So again, just like with hold, if you have somebody on park, you need to know whether somebody grabbed that or not, and you need to be able to see who was on longest if you have multiple calls going. So it gives you that. So hold, park. Blind transfer. Blind transfer is what I used earlier. I just send it off. It goes to voicemail. If they don't pick up, just transfer it over. There is also safe transfer, which sends it off, to that person, and if they do not pick up, it brings it back. It does not go to voicemail. Consult transfer, and that is where you call the other person, ask if they want to take a call, and if so, connect it and send it off like that. And there's also invite a new person to this call, and the way you can use that is a handoff call or a transfer where you bring it into a conference and you say, I have Wendell on the phone. We were talking about this, and I'll let you take it from there, and then you drop out of that conference. So you give the customer the handoff there and continue conversation there. So whatever way your attendance or your organization works, however you use a transfer, this gives you the option one click away to pick the transfer that is best for that call and send it off easily with one click. Okay, now let me show you a few of the options. Let me call back in again and show you a few of the options of what the contact card or the icons in the middle here. And here comes a call. I'm going to click. I can, of course, just like regular Lync, I can ignore it, but I'm going to answer that. So now, if I want to transfer, there is a few things I can do. One is the standard number, transfer it off like I did before. That rings a standard number, eventually goes to voicemail if I didn't pick save. Or I can see that, okay, Japheth here is busy, and I want to go straight to voicemail. One click, instead of going to the number, I can click over here and send it straight to voicemail. It doesn't bother him at all. It goes straight to voicemail. Or if I know he's out on the road, again, one click, send it to the mobile. Everything is one click away. And I can start an IM with Japheth to see if he wants to take this call. But one of the features that I think is incredibly powerful in the Attendant Pro, one of my favorite features is this. I click one, okay, so I have a call here, current call. I click this email button. And what happened is it popped up my standard Outlook email with an address to the person that I clicked on, callback reminder. This is a clickable phone number, so when Japheth gets this, he can click to call it back. It gives him the message that Wendell Martin called in at this time, and you're supposed to call him back on this number. And then you can add or take away from this as you will. If you want more message in there, you can do whatever you want there and send it. So imagine you're on a call and you say, hey, I see he's busy. Do you want voicemail? And they say, no, just time to call me back. And as attendants work and the next call is already ringing and stuff's happening, that can easily get skipped. But while they're on the phone, sure, I'll send them a message. Click once, click send. I already sent that message. He'll be giving you a call back. Goodbye. That is an efficient way to get that message there, and it gives your customers an incredible they know that it's incredible customer service in knowing that the message was already sent. It didn't get skipped. It's already sent off to that person. So that's one of my favorite feetures.
And I might jump in and say that this the one click send a note to a customer was a request from a European customer. So that feedback came from Europe, and I think it's great. It's a great piece of functionality, and I think a lot of North American users will like it as well. So yeah, great for that. Another thing, like Matt had mentioned earlier, it is a pity that in some attendant consoles, especially the Lync 2010 attendant console, it limited some of the features of the full Lync features, the things we love about Lync. So I'm going to show you a call here that I have one of my coworkers here pull another one in. So I am doing a test IM here. So I can do a group IM. I can bump that up to a call, and for bandwidth's sake, I'm not going to bump it up to a video call, but I could do that as well. Everything that is in Lync, the Lync 2013 client, continues to work as it always did. The screen share works. Everything that the full Lync features are available to somebody
using the Attendant Pro. So you don't give anything up by having that.
And maybe one clarification for users, you didn't explain the scenario, but what you are showing in this meeting is your dual screen, and you're showing the second screen. So
yes.
There is Lync is running on the first screen. So you can run Attendant Pro and Lync at the same time, and you have all the functionality, but you're seeing Wendell's second screen with Attendant Pro running on that. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And I had Lync running on my main screen there. Another feature that some people like is the fact that these global hotkeys allows you to answer without changing focus. So I hear a call coming in here. Attendant Pro is not in focus. I answer that call pressing F6, and if you'll notice, Attendant Pro is still at the bottom of my screen. It has not received focus. So if I am typing an email and I want to finish that up, I press F6, answer the call, say hello, what do you need? And they say they want to be transferred. So when I get to that point, I press F9, and just like you would want to, it pops up with the cursor in the contact search field over here so that you can type in an extension, or you can just click on one of these icons to transfer it. So for the attendant that wants to continue to work on what they're doing, answer the call, and only have it pop up when they need it, that's ideal. Some people say you have it on a touch screen, that you want to answer it on the touch screen. I'm going to change my focus on incoming call to yes. And now I'll do that same scenario, and I'm going to send an incoming call in here. And now this time I'm a attendant that wants it to focus on call. There comes a call. It pops up in front of me. If I have a touch screen or just want to click with the mouse or whatever, I can answer that call and transfer it off however I want to. So that gives you the options for people to work the way they want to work. Do you want it to be focused on call, or do you not want it to be focused on call? Yeah, and as I said, that's especially beneficial with touch screens. And one of the things to point out is we have thought through on a lot of things, and you'll notice the icons. There's a larger set of icons here as well. Are made. It's made for touch, made with that in mind. So one more thing that I want to show here, and that is this window up here. You've seen that popping up as I would call it. And let me clear that to show you how that's working. So now I'm going to send a call in here again. And you'll notice that as soon as this call pops up, this report pops up as well. So I am talking to Wendell Martin, and here's a balance, address, last service calls. And so it extends that one-click functionality beyond just Attendant Pro, but this popped up on my main screen. One click up here on that little arrow brought up my contact card in Microsoft Dynamics GP accounting system that we use. This is returning that one click, is searching that contact. Here is a map that, again, that's popping up over on my main screen, but gives a map of where I live. So it extends that one-click idea even beyond the Lync call itself into communication-enabled business processes. We hear about that. We hear in the Lync world this communication-enabled business processes is a big thing, but for a lot of small and mid-sized businesses, it becomes a pie-in-the-sky thing that's too expensive or too complicated to implement. But this brings it down so that everybody with Attendant Pro has that ability for communication-enabled business processes simply right on their screen here. That is another very, very powerful thing. So that kind of gives an overview. Are there any questions that I should immediately answer there, Japheth or Matt, or should I be turning it back over for going through the settings?
I don't see anything that Japheth didn't already answer. So there was one question. There was one question about the email note like when you have a current call and you want to send an email note, whether you can do an email template. That is something we've already been thinking about. Currently it isn't, but that is something that I could see being a good addition.
At this point, you can change this however you want, send it off.
At the point that you send it. So yeah, a way to take a note and send it to one of the users. Yep.
Great. Okay, Matt, take it away on going over some of the settings.
All right. So looking at the settings, one of the things we've made it really easy for Attendant Pro to get it set up. So when you install it, it's 1 minute install. You know, all your Lync 2013 groups, contact groups that you have set up, they flow right into Lync or Attendant Pro for Lync. So it's really a straightforward 1 minute install. But we realize that people are going to want to customize and make the console operator's experience as efficient as possible. And we have given we have a bunch of settings that allow you to configure and make the environment work like your operators will want. And Wendell has already looked at some. I will look at a couple more here, or maybe look at them in a little more detail. So we'll start at the bottom. Wendell already talked about the hotkeys. And in Attendant Pro, the hotkeys are configurable. And it's really as simple as coming into the settings screen, options settings screen, and selecting the hotkey that you want to change and pressing that. So things like answering, hold, retrieve from hold or park, transfer, disconnect, and grab focus are all hotkeys that you can define. And not only are they hotkeys that you can define, that's somewhat common in console operators. We've also decided to make these hotkeys global, which means, and Wendell kind of touched on this, but what this means is that it doesn't matter if you're in the Attendant console application or the Attendant Pro for Lync or not. So let's say you're working in Microsoft Word and a call comes in, you can answer it by pressing F6 or the key that you have defined. And you can even, when you're over there in Word, you can press the hotkey for transfer. And it will do what you would expect. In other words, it brings Attendant Pro to the foreground and puts your focus over where you can type in an extension, or if you wanted to use the mouse click to select a contact to transfers. And then there's the grab focus global hotkey. And that one, what that does, let's say you're in Word and you want to make a phone call. All you do is hit the grab focus hotkey, and what that does is brings Attendant Pro to the foreground and puts your focus over here where you can dial a number or search a contact. So another thing that you can configure in the settings is the contact layout. And you can set it with the default contact layout, or you can change it to another one. So what I've done here is I've just changed it to the small contact layout. And really this one is optimized for showing as many contacts as possible at a given time. And one thing should be noted, that if you have more monitor real estate and you increase the size of the Attendant Pro screen, the contact groups area will expand to use that additional space. Another contact layout that we have is the large contact layout. And this one is, and I'll just close the options screen, this one is optimized for touch screen. Wendell talked about touch. What we are trying to do is achieve really efficiency, whether you're using the mouse, keyboard, or touch. And our goal is to make it that you can exclusively use the one that you want, so you can do everything. And this large contact is kind of optimized to accept touch input. And also you'll notice there's a good way to show that we do utilize Lync photos. so that your attendant gets the nice personal experience that all the other Lync users do as well. Also set what is your default contact group when you enter Attendant Pro, when you start Attendant Pro. That if there's one that you use regularly, you can set it to that. And then another question that we get is, so I'm someone who uses the keyboard. Really, this console operator uses a keyboard, and we have a default transfer type that we like to use. Well, you can go in here and determine what the global transfer hotkey type is, what method it uses by default. So if you're someone that uses blind transfer very commonly, you can set it to that, safe or consult transfer. And then Wendell was showing the call pop, or the communication enabled business process. And to configure that, one of our themes is simple to implement. And really, it's as simple as entering a URL that you want to be invoked when there's an incoming call. So in our case here, we have, did I click on that? So in our case here, we're using our internal ERP, and we have a web page that we just invoke. And really, it's a web page, and you feed it the phone number. Really, you just basically give it the URL and replace where you want the phone number with brackets phone, PHONENO, and that will insert the incoming call phone number. So you can invoke whatever web page, web service that you have available to you, or even public web service. For example, you could use whitepages.com, which that URL is quite simple. It's just whitepages/ brackets phone number. So it's very simple to, and are you going to pop that in, Wendell? Okay, so he's done it there. So he just changed the incoming call pop from our internal ERP white pages, and we can test that. If you right-click on the options and click test phone number call pop. So now what it did is we're using white pages. So when you have an incoming call, and don't get stuck on white pages, you can use any public or private web service and invoke that on incoming call pop. So we have a number here. It shows us what company it is, and white pages even gives us a map. And that requires no internal infrastructure. You can just piggyback off of some public web service. So really all we did, popped in an URL, replacing the phone number with the phone number inside brackets. And if your web service requires the phone number to be translated or modified in some way, just like Lync can use regex to convert a phone number, we give you the capability of doing that here. And you can type in the test number and see how it's being translated. And if you have a number in here, like I just got finished doing, after you do that, you can test that your incoming call pop will work by right-clicking on options, and we can clear it, and then we can run it again. This way you can test to ensure that it works. So boom, there it worked again. We also have Attendant Pro is international. We have some common languages, English, Spanish, German, and we're continuing to add languages. So if you have a language that's important to you, you can either submit it or request that we add it. Focus on incoming call. Wendell went over that. You can determine whether Attendant Pro pops up on an incoming call or whether you need to click on it. And also you can determine when you double click on a contact layout, what it does. Does it call the work number, the mobile? Does it do a Lync call? Does it call voicemail? And then we have another option that is, most of those are pretty self-explanatory, but Smart is a little different. What Smart does is when you double-click on a contact layout. So when I double-click, for example, on Japheth here, what will it do? And if you're not in a call, it calls that person. If you're in a call, it will, and you're in the transfer mode, it will transfer to the call. So currently I have it set to smart. If I double-click on Japheth, what it will do, it will look. Is there only one contact method? If so, use that contact method. If there's more than one contact method, it uses the Lync call contact method. So using smart just puts a little bit of logic into what happens when you select a contact. And you might want to take that all of the contact methods, if work is not applicable in this case, so you double-click on a contact and there is no work contact method, it will fall back to smart. So those are the contact double-click methods. And another thing, once again, we made Attendant Pro extremely easy to implement. There's no servers to install, and it's just 1 minute 1 minute click once install. But we realized that if you have a bunch of attendant users, you might want to centrally manage. And we have made provision for that by making every one of the settings that we've just went over and any future ones that we add are configurable using group policies. So you can use group policy to push these settings out if you want to do it in a centralized way as opposed to configuring it on each attendant. All right, I think that's all that I had on the configuration side, and we will switch back to the PowerPoint. And we're going to go over a couple tips for best experience. One of the things that answers a multitude of questions related to Attendant Pro, and that is, think of Attendant Pro as a tray app that runs beside Lync 2013. I see a question over in the IM section, does Lync 2013 need to be running? And the answer to that is yes. We made a decision to do that, and we'll go over a couple of those reasons in a later slide. But a good way to answer a lot of questions about Attendant Pro, think of Attendant Pro as a tray app that runs beside Lync and has all the capabilities and compatibility of Lync 2013. We recommend, tip for best experience, we recommend dual screen with Attendant Pro running on the second screen and Lync on the first screen. Now you can run them both on the same screen. There's not a problem with that, but for the best experience, we think running it on a second screen, just like Wendell demoed, is the best experience. Another thing to remember is that you can answer using the Lync 2013 toast or the Attendant Pro method for answering. So there's just a couple of tips for the best experience when using Attendant Pro. Requirements. Attendant Pro for Lync requirements. Once again, another way to some people ask, what are the requirements? Well, think of Attendant Pro as a tray app. As a tray app that runs beside Lync 2013. It requires Lync 2013 to be running, and it has the same requirements as Lync 2013 and runs in the same scenarios and is compatible with all the same devices. So it really simplifies a lot of the questions that we get around Attendant Pro. Some people say, what are the requirements to run Attendant Pro? I just looked the other day running Attendant Pro, what the memory requirements were, and I think it was using about 11 megabytes. Now, Japheth, I don't know if you have more input on that, but that's what I noticed, just an anecdotal looking at it as we were running. So really, it's really the same requirements as Attendant Pro, as Lync 2013. And so another question we get is, will Attendant Pro run in X scenario? For example, I want to run it in VDI. Well, the answer to that question is if Lync 2013 runs in that VDI scenario, Attendant Pro will also run in that scenario. Another question is it with X device? So is it compatible with Lync Phone Edition? We've already answered that question, but Lync 2013 is compatible, so is Attendant Pro. A question might be, another question might be, does it run qualified devices? And the answer to that question is if Lync 2013 runs, then so does Attendant Pro, which is to say it does work with Lync qualified devices from, let's say, SNOM, audio codes, and VVX, or Polycom. Support and partnerships. Our goal in writing Attendant Pro is to write an application that just runs. We want it to be that quality of product. But we know questions come up, and we have a couple options that we're providing. We have a Yammer community support forum. I saw Japheth referred a couple of people to that forum as in the IM section of the meeting here, and that's a good option, a good place to ask your questions and also give suggestions. We also have email and link support incidences that are included with Attendant when you purchase it. And we are also in the beginning stages of conversations with several well-known vendors in the Lync ecosystem who are interested in partnerships with Attendant Pro for Lync, and we're hoping that that will also increase support footprint of Attendant Pro. And we will also be going over the Lync Partner Program, which is another option for support. So, Lync Partner Program. In our first introduction of Attendant Pro, we got a lot of partners that said, we want to resell Attendant Pro. And one of our design pillars for Attendant Pro is to make it really simple to implement, simple to get out there and be using. And our goal in the partner program is to maintain the simplicity while fully supporting partners as well. And we have come up with a partner program that consists of a couple things. One is that we plan, and this is currently available, it's available today. The partner program, partners will get an NFR license for one partner domain. Partner will also get margins, and we will also have a partner agreement, and partners will provide customer-facing support. So this is what we plan to provide to partners to support them in providing Attendant Pro to their customers. So if a partner would like to purchase Attendant Pro at the moment, what you do is first thing you want to do is sign up for the partner program, which we have a URL there on the screen, bit.ly AP Partner 1. You can just go there and sign up. And once you've signed up and want to purchase Attendant Pro, at the moment we have the ability to purchase Attendant Pro on the web for people that want to buy it directly. But for those partners that want to purchase it, just call or email Wendell at Landis Computer, and you can place the order with him and get your margin. And you can do this. This is effective immediately. Moving on to what is behind the scenes with Attendant Pro. Well, Attendant Pro for Lync was developed using Visual Studio and the Lync 2013 SDK. So some people ask the question, is Lync 2013 required? It is required because Lync 2013 SDK is required. And this means kind of explaining why we've used the Lync SDK. Using the SDK means that we have a solid, full-featured application without many of the challenges and bug cycles that come with writing your own Lync SIP stack. There are some other vendors that bring Lync console to the market, have gone the route of writing their own SIP stack, and along with that comes some challenges and working through the bugs, which using the Lync SDK we don't have those challenges. We also have an Azure Web Service backend in place that is currently delivering automated registration. So to deliver on our pillar of Attendant Pro, extremely simple to implement. This backend means that you can download Lync, click register, and you're all ready to use it. And you will get a 30-day, both end users and partners have access to this, that you have, in 1 minute you'll have the application installed, registered, and a 30-day fully working trial for your attendants to try out. This Azure Web Service backend is also available to deliver possible customer-selected enhanced functionality and features in the future. So we have an Azure Web Service sitting behind Attendant Pro, and at the moment we are using it for automated registration, but it also it's very possible that we could add some customer-selected enhanced functionality, deliver it using that same Azure Web Service. And we're also leveraging Yammer for community collaboration. We already mentioned that, and we are glad to be able to introduce many Lync users to Yammer as well, and some for the first time. So we are also using Yammer for collaboration. What are some people saying about Attendant Pro? This is one screen of comments, unsolicited feedback that we have received via email and noticed on social media, and there are a lot more. And we love this feedback and are especially glad to see that we are successfully delivering on our design themes. It's interesting to note that a lot of the positive feedback that we're receiving is talking about things like super simple to implement, a modern and fresh user interface, and the fact that it's really improving call handling efficiency, and loving that they are regaining all the UC modalities for attendant users. And I especially like the one piece of feedback that we got that says, I predict that Attendant Pro will quickly overtake any of the competition out there. And that is our goal. We really want Attendant Pro to become de facto Lync attendant console. That's one of our goals. Well, you can get your trial started today. You don't have to think, oh, I don't want to, this is going to be a long-winded process to get this thing installed and try it out. No, it's really 1 minute. Just go to landiscomputer.com/Attendant Pro, and in about a minute you will be installed and running. You just download it, and it will install. It's a click once install, and once you're in it, all you have to do is click on Options and Get a Key, and you will have a fully working 30-day trial of Attendant Pro. And we would recommend reading the frequently asked questions and the Getting Started to answer some of those common questions that come up. And you can get support to the community forum. There's URLs, or there's links to that on the URL that we have on the screen there. So you can get your trial and play with it yourself. It's really only a minute process of getting it installed and using it yourself. Attendant Pro is available for purchase right now. All you need to do is check how many PCs will run Attendant Pro, and you can go to landiscomputer.com/Attendant Pro and order it, or work through an Attendant Pro partner. Ask them, and they can help you out as well. So when you go to, all you need to do is select how many PCs that you want to run Attendant Pro, and go to landiscomputer.com and order that number of licenses. And you will get an email when your organization is activated. Remember that Azure Web Service. We just activated on the back end, and you're ready to roll. All right, Q&A. Am I going to let you take this, Wendell?
Yep, okay. Back here again. Looks like some questions are piling up there, but Japheth, and I did not introduce Japheth up front. Japheth is one of the Lync gurus around here. He knows Lync inside and out, and he's the one that's been answering the questions mostly. Matt will be also taking some soon as well. But it looks like a bunch of them are in the question and answer. And also, if you want to ask the question verbally, just I am in the I am field there, and let Japheth know that you want to be unmuted. But otherwise, we'll be taking kind of elaborating on any of the questions here as we get a chance.
And one thing we might want to note is after the Q&A, we will have there's a bunch of giveaways, and we will be giving those out after the Q&A.
Good afternoon or morning, everybody, wherever you are. This is Japheth here. Just looking over the questions in the Q&A section. Matt, there's a question here about, does the licensing require an internet connection to check? Any issues with checking the license in a lockdown environment?
All right, yes. So there, with the licensing, the way that you get your key is by clicking that get key, and at the moment that you do that, it goes and checks the web services, checks your organization, and returns the key. So if you do have a lockdown environment, that will block that process. So do you have anything more to say about that, Japheth, yourself?
No, that's right. You do need an internet connection.
Yeah, I think it's straightforward. You will need to have access to that.
Then Martin Boehm asked the question, is there any additional attendant reporting other than the Lync monitoring reports?
All right. At this moment, it is entirely client-side application. So the reporting, you are dependent on the Lync monitoring reporting, or we've been approached about, and I'm having a mind blank on the vendor. There's another vendor that provides Lync reporting, Dossier. But at the moment, to answer your question very simply, it's really the reporting is depending on anything Lync or some other third-party product might provide.
Okay. So Mike Hornberger also asked the question, is the license tied to a PC or a Lync user? If a Lync user, can it be transferred to a different user?
That is device-based licensing. So in the scenario there, we have 2 full-time and 3 other people just sit in on their breaks. You would need 2 licenses, assuming that there's just 2 stations that is running it. However many stations or devices you have running it is the amount of licenses you need.
So John Greaves also asked, can you have it installed on 5 machines but active only on 2, as typically we have staff that share cover on reception but don't need the client running when they are not using it. So it is a PC-based license, so if you have 5 PCs that you want to install it on and have it used on, you will need 5 licenses. Is that correct, Wendell?
That is correct. Yes, it is at this point only device-based or PC-based licensing.
So Steve Peary also asked the question, how does your support structure work? Any comments there, Matt, Wendell?
Yeah, just if I understand the question as far as how that goes, with the support, with the licensing comes the support, if you get that. That includes, of course, the Yammer and the community support for everyone, but if you have support, you get 2 incidences per year of support, whether it's difficulties, bug fixes, whatever gets escalated there to support, and that's 2 per year per company, and also, of course, includes any product updates that come out.
Okay. I don't have any other questions right now. Let me just look through my previous questions here. I think most of them have been answered either in the demo or...
Some some people ask, I noticed the question, and I'm not sure I was skirting around the edge of this, but, Attendant Pro does support response groups. And Wendell did not demo it, but you can, like he said, if there's multiple incoming calls, it will keep showing those. So if it does work with response groups, Lync response groups, and also it will, you can handle multiple incoming calls. That's not a problem.
Also, just to answer John Greaves joined in late and asked about transferring to voicemail. Yes, there is one-click transfer to voicemail option, the same as transferring to the standard number.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike Hornberger, go ahead, Wendell.
One thing to add to that also, you probably missed the other part of that transfer. You can transfer directly to mobile with one click as well. So you have standard direct to their phone number, direct to their voicemail, or direct to their mobile with one click.
So, Matt, Mike had a question here. Does it have the ability to have its own music on hold?
All right. That question is answered that it's dependent on exactly the same music on hold as the Lync 2013 would be. So you can set the music on hold as much as you can set it in Lync 2013.
And then Dan Shuttlesworth had a question. What does the product roadmap look like? Matt?
I would say in one word, aggressive. We keep adding things. We have a long list of very, very good ideas that have been submitted. Some of the things that we don't have a roadmap page on here. We're introducing it now, but some of the things that we have on the roadmap is things like delegation, so call on behalf of someone else. That is one of the things that I know we have on our list, and I do not have the list in front of me, but I know that it's aggressive, and we have been aggressively adding features. Maybe Dan has something specific that he would be interested in seeing, but I'm saying off of memory. But we have a long list. We keep thinking of good things to add, and I don't see Attendant Pro standing still.
I don't see any other questions right now. Let me just look here. Mike Hornberger asked about discussing margins for partners, and I responded to contact sales@landiscomputer.com about that, and we'd be happy to discuss that with you there.
Yeah, and I would refer him to attend. I don't know if he joined later, but let's go back to that slide. Go and sign up as to request to become a partner, bit.ly/AP-partner1, and sign up there, and you will, if you're accepted as a partner, once you are approved, you will get the margins, the margin information.
I don't have any other more questions at this point.
Want to go
Okay.
go over, and if there's any questions as we're doing the giveaway, we can answer those afterward. But go ahead, Wendell.
Okay, a little bit about the giveaways. Some of if you can see the presentation up there, the slide is about what we have to give away. Different people have supported this. With Jabra, Logitech, Lync, SNOM have supported the Attendant Pro launch. We have 4 giveaways, and I imagine everybody is familiar with the different companies that have been supporting here, but Jabra has a lot of both Bluetooth and DEC-based and USB headsets, speakers, conference speakers, stuff like that. Logitech has a lot of the same thing, a lot of headsets, some speakers. Also, they just recently introduced a low-cost room system replacement. Go ahead.
Yeah, the CC3000E, the 3300. Very, very nice video camera.
Yeah, and played with it here. They have a lot of different video cameras and stuff there, and most of you are probably familiar with Logitech as well. SNOM has a list of Lync qualified phones, handsets, and also have the HP branded Lync optimized phone. And Blink Busy Light might not be quite as well known, but probably a lot of you have heard of that. It's a light that shows your Lync presence with a light sitting on your desk or somewhere close by, so people walking up to your office or to your desk can see what your Lync presence is. So if you are here and you're on this list here, we have a few Jabras, a Logitech, and a Busy Light to give away. If your name is listed there, email sales. And we have an issue. Notice the note on the bottom there. We can only ship hardware to USA addresses. I know this is a European launch, but the contacts with the different companies there have a requirement for U.S. shipping coming out of or North American shipping there. So if you can arrange that somehow, let us know. Just email the address we should ship it to.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a quandary, but what we have had in our U.S. launch, we had some European and non-North American customers, and what they did is just gave us an address in the USA. So if you want to do that, we'd love to ship elsewhere, except these vendors, they only wanted to ship in the United States. So.
Okay, we'll just let that slide up for a little bit. Shoot me an email with the people that are up there. Any other questions that we should go back to there, Japheth?
Yes, I think I do see one question, so just we'll answer a couple more questions, and if people want to drop off and head out. There was one question: what happens if the attendant has 8 calls on hold and the 9th call comes in? So that question has kind of 2 pieces, and I'll let Wendell answer that.
Yeah, both on the incoming calls and the on-hold calls. If it goes above 8, then it will allow you to scroll down. I don't know if there's a theoretic limit of how many that is, but the other thing is if you have 8 calls on hold or 8 incoming calls on one person, it's time to get that person some help. They need somebody else sitting beside them. But yes, it does scroll after it gets to 8. The 9th one won't kick them out.
Yeah, so 8 calls, there's room to display 8 calls, but you certainly answer more after that, even if there is. So both on the incoming and the handled area. So if you put 8 calls on hold and another call comes in, you could have. So in other words, conceivably, you could see 8 calls coming in at one time and 8 calls on hold at one time. You could see that, but you can handle more than that. There'll just be a scroll bar.
So that would be 16, and you'd have the 17th one on the current call window, and then you'd have to scroll back and forth, which would be a very, very busy person.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions, comments? Appreciate everyone that came out, and
okay, I think we're going to wrap up the meeting officially. We're going to stay on a little bit and look at questions as they come in. Anybody can still join in, but the audio portion is going to be done here in a little bit. Thanks a lot, everybody that joined in. Love to get in contact with the partners and anybody that wants to buy it directly. You have the address. We'll be in touch as we go along.
Yeah. And if there's anybody that wants to chat informally with audio, you're welcome to unmute and just ask the question. I see there was one question when searching for a contact. That scrolled up for me. So by Andrew McKelvey, when searching for a user manually, do you get the same options as a saved contact, call, voicemail? Yes, the answer is yes. And also, one of the things I think we failed to demonstrate is the right-click menu. Wendell, you want to pop that up and show Andrew? And this is both when you're searching in the contact layout.
Let me pop that up again and show that.
Matt, till Wendell does that, do you want to address Steve's question there about UK pricing?
Can you? I am not seeing it. Do you
Thanks
want to
for a
help
good
me
product. I may have missed this, but what is the pricing in the UK?
Oh, so the equivalent of $1,800 US. Yeah, sorry, we didn't. That was supposed to be on the slide and was not. And that 1,800 includes 2 support incidents for the organization.
Take it away, Wendell.
Okay. I should have my screen up there now, and if I go over to, so picking on Japheth here, but if I right-click on any of these contacts, it gives me all the options, again, to click to transfer to his SIP address, his work number. Got 2 different work numbers there. 3 different work numbers, mobile, voicemail, or IM. So a right-click anywhere on any of these contacts give you the options that they have available. And also, same thing down here. If I search down here and I right-click, I get options here as well. So at any place where you see somebody, you have a right-click menu to give more detailed if the icons below here doesn't get you the one you want.
And that right-click, that click menu that gives you all the contact methods can also be invoked by pressing either the contacts menu on your keyboard, because we really wanted to make everything keyboardable. So if you press the Windows context menu, it pops that menu down. Or you can press, what is it, Shift F10, I think, is also the key to drop that menu down. Yeah.
And I just demonstrated both of those there.
Was that Shift F10? I'm going by memory there.
Yes, Shift F10 is correct.
And I would say, I think we probably are about getting to the end. If there's any requirements, European requirements, us North Americans are not always catching on to that, so we welcome your feedback. We know that this is a product that is of interest, and we want to be sensitive to the needs of those outside North America. All right.
Okay.
I think
Thanks
that's
a lot
about
for
it.
everybody that was in here. Appreciate
Yep.
it.
Yep. Yeah, as far as the recording goes, we will email a link to the recording after the event. So once again, really appreciate everyone that took the time to be in here today. Thank you.